Is it on? Okay. Well, I want all of y'all to move in here because we're going to have a whole crowd here tonight. And first of all, I want to introduce myself. I'm Buddy West. I'm from Ducktown, Tennessee. And my bride of 30 years. Can you believe it? 30 years I've been married. Sitting right over here. She's from Turtletown. And a suburb of Ducktown is Buzzard Roost, which is where my daddy's from. And then just north, the northern suburb is Dogtown, and that's where my mama's from. But we're from a very small town. If you don't know where any of that is, it's about an hour south of Gatlinburg. So it's over in the Smoky Mountains. We're mountain people. We grew up country. It's really funny how we got together, me and my bride. Before I say that, guys, do you ever make your wife mad? Well, believe it or not, I do. And of course, she was angry about my shirt today. She didn't want me to put it on, but I think it looks good. What do y'all think, huh? Can you give it up one time for me? Yeah. I mean, this is a good-looking shirt. But I'll just let you know that Robin didn't like my shirt at all or anything. So I come to you today with a very heavy heart, and I want to share a story with you. This happened here recently. I get up every morning, and I go to McDonald's to get a cup of coffee. And when I go, early, the sun's coming up, and I go get a free cup, so I have a free cup to where I get a free McDonald's cup of coffee. So anyway, I go outside, and I look up over on my little wooden fence right over here, and perched right up there on the top was this bird. And it was, walking across the top, and then all of a sudden it fell down in the crack. And so here's this bird hanging upside down, and what it did was, with its little leg, as it would swing like this, and it looked like a mama bird. It may have been even pregnant. I'm not sure what kind of bird it was, but it kind of scratched its way down to where it got lodged right in the V of that fence. Well, I knew as a humanitarian I needed to rescue that bird because somewhere there was some eggs that needed to be sat on, or she had some in her belly she needed to get rid of. So I know I had to do something. I had to think quick. And I really wasn't for sure what to do. So the first thing I did is I went over there and I looked. There was blood all over the fence. There was blood there. Her little leg was just lodged right in there. So I began to think of what I could do to help this bird. So the first thing came to me was that maybe I could pry it apart with my hands and pull the bird out. Well, that's the first thing I tried. So I'd done it, but the bird was flopping around. The bird was in great shape, except though I could see from its eyes something was happening. Because that bird was hanging upside down. I knew blood was rushing to its head. I couldn't. I used to hang upside down in a tree all the time. But I realized I couldn't stay there for long. So I knew something was happening with this bird. And there was some traumatic things going on with this bird. So I went over there and I thought, well, I can't pull it apart. The bird is kicking. So I decided that I would go into my garage and I would get a little pry bar and I would stick it in there. And I thought if I could pry that apart, then that little bird, we could lift its legs out. Now, I probably wouldn't have put a Band-Aid on or something, but it would probably have flown off and it would have been just fine. So I tried that, and it didn't work. I know where y'all think I'm going with this, but I'm telling you, this was the only option that I had. So I got to thinking, how often do you see a lizard running around without a tail? And it's fun. And then I got to thinking about what about if you used to take like a three-legged dog. I've been in my neighborhood and seen a three-legged dog running around before. And I thought if a dog can walk on 3 legs, then why can't a bird walk on 1 leg? Now, granted, I didn't think very much about that because I know a 1-legged bird would just have to lean up against the tree or, I didn't know how it would probably have to hop like this and probably could get a job at the high hop. Can you imagine that? Can you give me some pancakes? And some sausage with that stuff? So here's what I did. I thought I would perform surgery. So I went in there to the house, and I got the sharpest scissors. Give me some grace. I went in the house, and I got the scissors. And that little bird was sitting upside down. And I thought if I was to take them scissors and whack it off, amputate it right above its knees, Yeah, then it would fall down, and it would kind of get out of its shock and then go on. Well, that's what happened. So I whacked its legs off, boom, it hit the ground right there. But I thought, don't touch it. It's probably just going through some initial shock, and then it would be fine. And then what I would do is I would go to McDonald's, get my coffee, and come back, and the bird would be gone, probably perched up on its eggs. So I left. Well, needless to say, when I come back, there laid that little bird, better than a doorknob. It bled out. Now, I know, give me some grace. I thought if I whacked it off, it would heal. I mean, like I said, I've seen a three-legged dog. So I come to you tonight just to ask for your forgiveness and your prayers because what I tried to do didn't work. Now, I'll tell you what I did do, though. I didn't bury it in the backyard because I thought another dog might bury it out or dig it up. So what I did was I just cut out a piece of grass and I raised it up, dug a little hole, stuck it in there. And then so there's probably some eggs out there that didn't hatch. There are probably some baby birds that are still waiting for a worm. But I just wanted y'all to know that today. I'm not a mean man. I'm not a mean man, but I'm telling you, that's a true story. So I just want to ask your hold your applause. It's a true story. I didn't mean to kill it, but I just thought, you know, thinking back on it, a one-legged bird just ain't gonna make it. So. What the heck, you know, I just wanted y'all to know that today and forgive me. You know, I feel like I ought to be playing an instrument up here. I feel like I ought to be doing something in a band. You know, when I was younger, my mother and daddy used to come in and I used to play a guitar and sing to them. I'd be standing there in my little grabbers and I'd be playing. And then my guitar didn't have any strings, and I'd play Johnny B. Good and all those Hank Williams songs. Because I'm old. That's the music that was playing at the time, and I'd play that. Well, needless to say, that's not going to get me a recording contract. So the next thing is I got a little older. I moved into harmonica. I thought, my gosh, first of all, it was cheap. That's all the money I could have. I didn't grow up with a lot of money. In fact, I remember growing up, a lot of the foods that we ate were the generic foods. You know when you go up here to Kroger, you get those big old bags of cereal? I call it Popeye cereal, but I don't think that's what it's called. Puffs. And you would put that in a bowl, and you'd pour your milk in there. And as soon as you'd pour your milk in there, I mean, if you turned around and sneezed and come back, it would be like, you threw bread in there. So it was nasty. I remember I used to go to Robin's house, and when I dated her, I did like her a whole lot in the beginning, but her mother used to have the best food. She had, I think it was Honey Nut Cheerios, and I used to eat them, and Apple Jacks. I used to eat Apple Jacks, and she made the best hot dogs. I remember we had them old Piggly Wiggly hot dogs that you could boil them for 30 minutes, and basically you just boiled the color out of them, but they never got any bigger. But when I used to go out to Robin's house, and we used to get those Oscar Mayer, they pop when you cook them. Now that was some hot dogs. That was worth dating Robin just for the hot dogs. But anyway, back to the band. So I got a harmonica I bought up at Kimsey Pharmacy, and what I did is read the instructions, and I realized that this instrument's harder to play than you think, because what you have to do is when you take it, you have to put your tongue in certain holes, and you have to blow and suck, blow and suck, and you put your tongue. Well, what I realized was I couldn't play a harmonica, but I worked on it very hard. By this time, I had moved into high school, and I thought, you know what? I'm pretty talented with my tongue. What about if I was to play a juice harp? So up in Ducktown, up at the 4th of July, we have a turtle derby, and I'm going to tell you about that here in a minute. But I went up there, and I watched the guys picking their banjo and guitars and singing, and I noticed that guy over there with the juice harp. Y'all know what a juice harp is? It's a little piece of kind of like metal, and it comes across like that, and it's got like a bobby pin. Ding, 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 and you put it between your gums like that. But one thing that you got to do, which I told you my tongue was talented, is keep it out of the way. Well, needless to say, as I was practicing one day, I was getting good at it, and then my tongue got hung in it. And I popped my tongue like that, and within seconds, I had this ball on the end of my tongue. It looked like there was a marble under the skin. And I couldn't close my mouth for a week. Now, I'll tell you, here's the problem. I was playing basketball. So when you can't close your mouth for the week, if you can't close your mouth for 10 minutes, you get cotton mouth. Well, I had cotton mouth, I couldn't close my mouth for a week. So that's a true story. I mean, for real. So what I had to do is, I got one of them little squirt bottles, something like that. And what I would do is, I'd have to keep my mouth moist because I'd get the cotton mouth and I couldn't talk and everything. So it would drill on and everything. And then when I would play in the basketball game, that's the way I called the plays. I had a big old blue dot right there on the end. I had to call the signals using my fingers and everything. So being up here and looking at this music, no, that's true, for real. I mean, for a week, I had this little knot on my tongue. So anyway, I'd like to play an instrument for y'all, but once I got my tongue hung in that, I quit. There was no more playing any instruments and everything. So I'm not going to sing for you tonight. I'm not a comedian. All I am is someone that tells you about true stories. Like I said, I come from Ducktown, Tennessee. It's a quacking good place. There's a picture right there as you go into Ducktown. It says quacking good place. There's a duck there.